Hey, it's Carrie with KDS Insurance Services. I had a conversation today that was really interesting and I thought would really be beneficial to my followers about car insurance and clarifying a couple of things that you may or may not know. And whenever that happens, I just think it's a really good idea to share because, you just never know if you have the same question or concern as somebody else. So, and I'm talking about Texas here, but I would have to guess the majority of the states have a similar requirement. Here in the state of Texas, if you have a vehicle, any type of vehicle, and it is on the roads, public roads, it has to be registered. Okay? It has to be registered with the state. There's no getting around that. Any type of vehicle, go-kart, motorcycle, four-wheeler, any type of vehicle that is on the road, public road, has to be registered. And one of the requirements in here in Texas to get any of those vehicles registered is liability insurance. The state mandates that you must carry liability insurance. And the reason for that is the state wants to make sure that if there's an accident and it's your fault, that you can pay for the other party's damages. This would be damages to their vehicle and then damages to them, pain and suffering to them. And the way the state makes you do this is through a liability policy. Okay? That's why you have to carry it. The state wants to make sure if you hurt somebody or damage their property, that you have the means to pay them for that if it's your fault. That's what your liability insurance does. Now, here in Texas, we have several levels of liability insurance. Our state minimum level right now is 30, 60, 25. And what that means is if you hit me and I'm injured, the policy is going to pay $30,000 per person and or $60,000 for everyone injured in my car. So if it's just me, then I would get paid $30,000. If there's multiple people in my car, the maximum that policy is going to pay out is a total of $60,000. And this is pain and suffering and medical bills. Okay, those first two numbers. Pain and suffering, that's a determining, that can be determined by a lot of factors. Your pain and suffering could be different to somebody else's pain and suffering. And so this is where a subjective claims processing process comes into play. So it's your medical bills plus your pain and suffering. That third number on the end, which here in Texas is 30, 60, 25, that's property damage. Okay, so let's say you are in a car accident and you hit a Tahoe. A Tahoe is going to be about $80,000 vehicle, brand new. So if you hit a Tahoe and you only have $25,000 because that's the minimum you're allowed to carry in Texas, that last number, if the property damage you cause is more than that $25,000 mark, the difference, then it comes to you. You have to pay that personally, the difference or the overage that your automobile liability policy covers. Now there's different levels. The first level is 30, 60, 25. The next little level is 50, 100, 50, 100, 300, 100, 250, 250, 100, 250, 500, 100, then 500, 500, 500, or a combined single limit of 500,000, or a combined single limit of $1 million. So now when you refer to a liability policy as a combined single limit, it means they've eliminated those three numbers and it is just one number. And in this case, what I'm referring to is either $500,000 or $1 million. Now, if you're in a an automobile accident and there's multiple cars, right? You have an accident and you rear end the car in front of you, and then that car in front of you hits somebody else, and so on and so on. And you are ultimately found at fault and 100% responsible for that accident. $30,000 is just not going to cover a lot, right? 30, 60, 25, that last number, 25,000. It's just not going to go very far when the average new vehicle is over $50,000. So when you're buying your insurance, it's really important to think about these numbers, because if you do have an accident and if you are found liable and you don't have the money through your automobile policy or cash, then they can attach assets and find a lien against you. The lien can then go against any tangible liquid asset, which does include your house. Even though your house is homesteaded here in the state of Texas, you can still get a lien. So it's really important to think about this, because your liability insurance is technically the first line of defense to protect all those assets, your cars, your home, money in the bank. Anything that's a tangible liquid asset can be used to satisfy a lien if you are found liable and you don't have either an insurance policy or the cash availability to meet the judgment. It's a big decision, but this is why here in Texas, any vehicle that is registered on the road must carry liability insurance. The state wants to make sure that you can pay for somebody else's damages if you cause an accident, and that's the sole purpose behind liability insurance. I hope that helps. I know it can be really confusing, and you really need to talk to an agent to make sure that you are protecting your asset level. This is Carrie with KDS Insurance Services. Many blessings on this weekend. Take care, everyone.